Sam was a singer-songwriter in sort of bars around London, and I just went to see him, and through a mutual friend that knew him, that knew someone else, and he was looking for someone to produce some of stuff that he did. But when he came to the studio, and when I sort of heard his stuff, I just kind of thought, well, let's do something together. So it's kind of...
Why do you think that?
Why did I think that? Because I was looking for someone to work with, and he's got a great voice, so it seemed to make sense to me.
Yeah?
You know, yeah. He's a great lyricist, so you know, I produce good music. Fuck it.
And do you still remember the first song that you actually did together?
With Sam? Well,
the first song.
The first song that we did together, I wrote, which was called People Folk, which I'd done before I met him, and the second song was Surprise Me.
Okay. And were you aware then that you had something special together, or was it still you had to search?
To be honest, it was like such a long process, like working on that album. It was, you know, me coming up with ideas and stuff like that, and then Sam would come along and put some lyrics on it and stuff, and we were just having fun in a basement studio really, and weren't really aware of the possibility of getting an album out and what people would think about it and whether they'd like it. So it was just kind of for us. But you know, as it went on, I think we kind of thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, got a vibe going on.
Was there one moment when you thought, well, this is going to be maybe going to be an album, or people might like, or?
I guess when we sent demos out to record labels, and Jeff from Static Caravan got back in touch immediately and loved it and wanted to put out a single, and then, you know, just gave us loads of confidence and bigged it up. And so from that point, really, that was the first time anyone had actually given a shit about it, you know. So it's kind of, I guess, after speaking to Jeff, he made it feel like it could be possible to put out a record, you know. But
and is there one way that the Tunng song comes about, or?
On that album, a lot of it, like a few songs I would do as instrumentals, come up with all the beats and the guitar parts and stuff like that, and then Sam would come in and sort of come up with some lyrics and some melodies to go with that, and then we'd do it that way. So I would work on something before it ever hit any kind of vocal thing. Sam wrote a couple of songs, and he'd come in and I'd sort of produce those, and we'd edit the words together and stuff like that. And so I don't know. I mean,
no, but do you, let's say, because now you're saying, well, you wrote some music and he did, and then you brought it together. But is it also that maybe with two of you that you make a song along the way with just the two of you, so not one person is creating a song beforehand and then bringing it to the other, and
I think it was a combination of stuff, you know. I mean, I guess the song that we worked on together would probably be Surprise Me, but then again, I sort of wrote that, or the majority of it, like sort of 5 years ago, and then when he came in, we sort of pulled it all apart and pulled it all back together again, sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, I think working together in a production sense can be writing a song together, you know, producing sounds and saying, I like that sound, I don't like that sound, or stuff like that. So.
And what do you have with Sweden?
With Sweden?
Yes.
I've never been to Sweden.
No?
No, I'd like to. Are you offering?
No. But because I read somewhere the Tunng.
Okay. Word. Yeah. Yeah, it means heavy apparently. Yeah. But I think only with one N.
Yeah.
But I like Swedish people. I mean, you know, maybe that's it. No, the name doesn't really mean anything in Swedish or anything in anything really. I think someone before said it was like a onomatopoeia where you sort of go dong like that, but we just wrote a load of words down in the pub and looked at this thing, and it just looked amazing when you wrote it down, so we thought we could come up with any meaning you want, you know. It just seems to should have a meaning. It feels like it should have a meaning,
but now it has a meaning.
Well, now
with the music.
We've got, yeah, exactly. The music gives it a meaning. Yeah.
And can you name me other band names you had written down?
Sydney Kidney and the Fairy Lights.
Sydney Kidney, okay.
I don't know. I can't remember, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
I prefer Tunng.
Me too. Yeah.
I was wondering, do you talk about the lyrics, the two of you, or not?
Yeah, I mean, Sam would sort of sit there sometimes in about 20 minutes and just sort of write kind of verses and stuff like that. And he's quite a quiet type of person, and you know, you wouldn't normally assume that he could come up with such dark and twisted fantasy-led worlds like in 20 minutes sat in a basement studio. So we'd talk about them, and you know, he would say, "Oh, I've got this idea, you know, about a housewife that wants to rob a bank or something," and then I go, "Oh, that's a great idea. Okay, let's try that, and let's try that." And
But do you have, let's say, an input or?
Yeah.
Do you have an example of a song that you had an input on, lyric-wise?
Well, I wrote the whole of People Folk, and surprised me, it's my chorus and it's my middle eight and it's my melody and stuff like that. So.
No, but I mean, how can you describe the process? Let's say when he comes up with a lyric and you.
Sorry. No, I'm not going to answer him. Sorry, what were you saying?
I mean, I was wondering, because the lyrics, can you describe the process then when he has a lyric and you bringing some other stuff of lyric, or maybe can you describe it?
Well, like in Beautiful and Light, like I said, it was an instrumental first of all, and then I actually sent him a CD of that and said, you know, come up with some ideas, and he came up with a few verses, and only one of them was about this kind of woman who wants to rob a bank, and the other ones were just kind of general poetic stuff about living in a village and stuff like that. And so I read the verse about this woman who sort of wanted to rob a bank, and I was like, well, let's make a whole story out of that at that point, and then, you know, it would develop from there, kind of thing. You know, the story literally within about 2 hours that she robs her bank and counts her money and drives away and goes, whoo, you know. So I guess, yeah, I mean, you know, we talk about stuff. If he comes up with an idea, if I come up with an idea, then we'll try and work it out together. But yeah, does that make sense?
No, it does. No, because when you explain an example, then, well, it's better to grasp how the working is.
Yeah.
Let me see, what fascinates you about the cult horror classic The Wicker Man?
It's a great film, and it's got great music, and it makes you feel like some dark, twisted world's going on somewhere. I don't know, I saw that film, and it was mainly the music that got me, and the look of it. Because it's beautiful, and I love the way in the film the music's all played as you see it, sort of thing. So it's like a musical in general. And it's, you know, it's just pure folk music, and, you know, on a tiny little island in Scotland where they're practicing pagan rituals, and it's great. You know?
But has it also something to do with Tunng? Because it's, let's say, you say it's nice folk music, but it's a little bit of a horror movie, and you have, let's say, also a darker twist to your music. Can I?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, it's an inspiration. I did a cover version of one of their songs as well, and one of Paul Giovanni's songs. And yeah, I mean, I love music that takes you on a slightly dark journey.
Why?
Well, because you don't always live like that, do you? You know, it's like if you can listen to a song and it transports you into some ridiculous scenario that you can't really imagine, but it's beautiful at the same time, then that's great. Not all our songs are that dark, though. You know, it's an album of sort of different directions and different, you know, adventures and stuff like that. So, I mean, it can be happy, it can be sad, it can be sort of, you know, melancholic or whatever. But I mean, I think The Wicker Man was an inspiration, but not for the whole band. No. You know, it's just like a.
No, but I was thinking that's, well, parallels maybe somewhere.
Yeah.
So what does music have to do for you then? Because you were saying there's some other things that you don't live normally. Is it some kind of escape then, or maybe some kind of fantasy life, or just normal things?
A bit of both. I mean, being involved in music and playing music and producing music is what I've always done and always want to do. So, and it's always been a fantasy. So the actual physical side of making music is like slowly starting to come true as well. I'm being in Amsterdam, sat by a canal talking to you, you know, that's not what I expected.
That's the best thing in the world.
It's pretty good, man. But, you know, writing songs that are, you know, lead you in another world as well, it's just good. I mean, why play some, you know, hardcore rock and roll band just talking about drinking beer and getting wasted, you know, when you could do something more interesting and hopefully affect people in a better way, you know, so, or a more interesting way, I don't know.
So music and songs have to make people think.
I'd like to think so, yeah. Even if it's an instrumental, and I do a lot of instrumentals, and you know, it's just got to move you a little bit and take you somewhere. But I'm also interested in the physical side of different production and taking acoustic instruments and playing with them and mixing them with other forms of music, which again, you know, takes you in a different direction as well. So just experimenting with sounds and lyrics and ideas, you know.
Okay. But the last question now. Two questions there. Why did you use samples of Gloria de Haven and Gregory Chorus?
Well, the Gloria de Haven sample is it's not because of her or anything to do with the film, it's just that it's just such a perfect sample for that song. That song's about, you know, an old woman that kills people and drains their blood and writes stories in a typing machine. And the sample is like, who's sorry now, who's sorry now, and it's just perfect. I just found it, and it's an old record, and she's an old woman, and you can just picture her in some crazy house stuck in a back room with a wind-up record player or something, or radio actually in the song.
Yeah.
But so that was for that one. Gregory Corso. I like his stuff, and more than that, I love the sound of his voice. You know, it just sounds like some old, welcoming granddad type, sort of huggy person. And I thought that poem, well, it's not just him, it's Allen Ginsberg as well. But I had a record of some other stuff, and I pasted a few things together that just brought a vibe and an ambience to that tune. You know, and his voice, it was just the quality of it that I love so much. You know, so that's why I chose that.
That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And last question: Are you becoming an expert in women's clothes? Or not?
Yeah, I am. Well, for a start, I work above a women's clothes shop, and Vanessa is a clothes designer. So yeah, I can answer some questions about ladies' garments.
Okay, no, because you have to go to a dressing room to.
Yeah, but we're moving, actually.
Are you moving?
Yeah,
okay.
Finally. 4 years we've been there. You have to go underneath a clothes shop and then through the changing room and then into the sweat box. And,
sweat box, the studio.
The studio, yeah. Well, sort of studio, dark grey cell of a box.
And where are you moving to?
Still in London, but East London, like Hoxton Square, around there, to another studio. We're in Soho at the moment.
Yeah.
We're moving to Hoxton Square. I don't know if that means anything to you, but...
Well, Soho does, but the other... Sorry.
Yeah. Well, it's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.